Girls of Reddit, what makes a guy creepy? No self-awareness or notion of personal boundaries, like when guys follow you around public places or follow you home intentionally and don't seem to understand what's really unsettling about that. I don't know if it's because I live in a big city, but this is surprisingly common. When they don't take no for an answer. When a guy won't give you your space even when you implicitly or explicitly make it clear that you want your space, without giving too many details. When I was younger, this sweet guy became creepy to me because he wouldn't leave me alone even when I said I wanted time to myself. If they can't respect your boundaries, get out and fast. Edit. For context, this happened when we were kids, but it still applies. I told the guy outright to leave me alone, at first saying I want to be alone for now. Eventually, I told him to just leave me alone outright, and it took more dodging on my part for him to get the message. I get he was a lonely kid, but this made him go from sweet but lonely kid to kid I was trying to avoid. Telling me personal things about myself. I had a guy at my old job mention that I took a different route to work one morning. Then he said a mix of letters and numbers. When I asked what that meant, he said that's your license plate, right? Another time he was standing behind me at the time clock and said my clock in code before I entered it. Also, he cornered me in a room and tried to kiss me. It was so awkward because his wife was my supervisor, and I was his superior. I was the nurse and he was the CNA. On top of that, I was a new nurse and not at all comfortable in my role yet. I ended up telling my co-workers to keep us apart and make sure he didn't follow me into rooms after that last part. Very creepy. Guy, go out with me. Me, nah, no thanks. I'm married. Guy, so, by far one of my least favorite interactions. Also staring. Uninterrupted staring. It's worse if they don't even come talk to you. Makes me scared they're just going to follow me. Edit. Yes. I know some people zone out and stare unintentionally. For me, it's pretty easy to tell the difference. And I move around some to see if their eyes are following. If they are, they're staring. If not, they're zoning. Constant, uninterrupted staring. Or when they get way too close to you when talking and kinda hover over top of you. Edit. I do not mean accidental eye contact. Eye contact when speaking or passive looking. When you're daydreaming and don't actually perceive anything. I mean direct staring. When guys try to separate you from your friends. Like you're in a group and a guy suddenly pushes his way in and blocks you off. Blocking exits. Please leave me a path to get away from you if I want to. Repeatedly trying to pursue you after you've told them you're not interested. When they only talk about sex or make every exchange about sex. Having sex is not a personality trait. When they consistently ask you out after about 3 times, it gets excessive and creepy, plus if they try to contact you through more than 2 platforms, then it's creepy as well. When if you don't reply immediately he gets sad or needs something from your texts to make you feel bad. Speaking from personal experience. When you can tell they don't look at you like a person but like a conquest. I have this guy at work who's a little weird, but every time he talks to me, it's like his preconceptions of who I am and what I think are all he sees. It's annoying. Saying things like women like this and women don't like this as if we're a hithermind. And you happen to know women's experience is better than them. I automatically assume you will get angry at me and start yelling or creeping if I breathe wrong. And cause a ruckus in public if I tell you to leave me alone. Listen, I won't pretend to know the pros and cons of being a lad. If you don't pretend to know the pros and cons of being a lass. It's complex. It varies per person. And if you have trouble getting in with the entirety of a group of people of the same sex, it's totally on you. When much older men think that all the young women want to have sex with them. I've worked with a few men like this and it really creeps me out, especially when they look at a young woman and lick their lips. When a guy is pushy, flirting, whatever, but it bugs me when I'm having a good conversation and the guy suddenly is trying to meet up or is trying to get nudes like fuck off. If you don't know them, staring at you for too long, trying to hold your hand, insisting on showing you something or taking you somewhere, big red flag. Laying their hands on you, like, not accidentally, on your belly back close to private parts, still flirting, or trying at least, after you've rejected and declined told them you have a boyfriend. Bonus point if they keep trying if you are a lesbian and just told them that you literally have a girlfriend. Edit. Changed touching you to laying their hands on you because some people don't understand the line between a pat tap on the shoulder and like touching you in a creepy way when you don't know them. Not giving up after you said no more than once. If he follows you everywhere and tries to sniff you or touch you. When a man starts checking you out while he's right next to his girlfriend or wife. This gets the creepy stamp of approval from me. Developing feelings too quickly. I understand what it's like to be a person who falls hard for people. But there's a line. Like when you're talking to someone on a dating website. You've only exchanged 3 messages and the guy says he loves you. That or guys who try to give you shoulder rubs. No random man. I don't want you to touch me. When he doesn't have good boundaries or doesn't take no. It's a multitude of aspects, and a lot of people have touched on some of the points. Another point is the nice guy expectations. There's a fine line between caring for your friends and, creepily, trying to take care of a girl. The difference is often in the intent. If you are nice to someone for any reason other than like common decency and basic care that you would give to any other person, it's creepy, awkward and heavy with ultimatum. Saying hey cutie, and then giving all sorts of insults from what a prude when I say I'm not interested. Especially when they don't realize that I, a very white girl, am not fluent in Spanish, but I know enough to know when they are calling me a skinny whore in Spanish. I live in southern Texas. Making inappropriate sexual jokes when there was absolutely no need for it. Leaving notes on the windshield of your car. I've had at least a handful of guys do this, and let me tell you, it is not cute, it is not endearing, it is not all, it is. However, you've creeped me enough to know what my car looks like, where my house is, where I work, and where I do my grocery shopping. Not knowing your audience. Whether something is appropriate or not depends a lot on where you are and who you're with. Something that would be totally appropriate with your buddies can be inappropriate in a mixed social situation. For example, my brother-in-law shared a story about a woman who used her own veal yeast to brew beer. Would have been an interesting story for some friends at the bar. However, it was super ducking creepy at the annual family reunion. Not being able to tell what isn't appropriate is creepy. The creepy lines. I will mention I rode horses I've heard and responsibly bet you rode those horses real good while licking their lips and winking. A mix of what they say and demeanor. Comments about my race. I'm Indian and the amount of times that a guy has called me exotic is disgusting. Like stop. If you're going to compliment me, at least don't make it about my race or something. It would make my day if same guy said hey nice jacket, or I think you look nice today. Also, when I come to complain to you how some other guy is making me feel uncomfortable, don't invalidate my fears or use the maybe he's just socially awkward excuse. I'm coming to you because I'm a bit afraid, creeped out, and want the support of my friends. Acting like you know each other well when you've just met. When they say smile, dude, I'm not here to make you feel good about yourself. I don't even know you. And no one ever in the history of ever smiled when someone they don't know tells them to. Saying random sexual innuendos with when I don't know you. Why do you think I want to hear that? When they just stand like really close to me when I'm just trying to talk, or asking a lot of questions about my personal life when I hardly know them. Also watching me walk by them whispering to their buddies all around them. That really freaks me out. Flicking my tit and doing it in front of my husband. Did not end well. Edit. Got a lot of requests for the story. I can't go into a ton of detail because it became an hour and legal issue. Nightmare. But I'll give you an overview. My husband and I were at a going away party at a restaurant for a friend at work. And one of my other work friends was there. At the end of the night, when we walked by and say goodbye to him, he quite literally flicked my tit. I was in complete shock. I can only say that due to this guy's action and my husband's reaction, my husband is no longer allowed at my work. The guy went on unpaid leave for a couple weeks. Not long after that, he got a promotion. While I had been fighting for a year to get a small raise after doubling my workload. Remember, Kiddos, life is definitely fair. One night I was walking home at night in a shady part of our city and some drunk guy was walking behind me talking loudly and sometimes directly to me. I stopped to let him walk in front of me. He said, "You don't need to be scared." That just freaked me out more. He continued walking. But come on. As if telling some stranger not to be scared doesn't ring all the alarm bells. Being called sweetie, sweetheart, honey etc by a man I don't know always creeps me out. Using the word females, it's a red flag every time. Touching us without our consent, not necessarily sexually, just at all. Don't pick lint off my sweater. Don't pat my arm. Do ducking not put your hand on my lower back to get by me for duck's sake. If you wouldn't do it to your male co-worker, neighbor, acquaintance, then don't ducking do it to us. Putting their hand on your lower back or side as they move around you or to let you know they are there. I don't even care when a co-worker occasionally touches my butt or boob at work when it's clearly an accident because we all work in close proximity. Doing it on purpose, however, to only the young girls, instead of using your voice or a touch to the shoulder to alert of your presence, is intrusive, unnecessary, and alarming. Repeatedly calling us beautiful and comparing us to other women we know. Sure, it's cute if you're already in a relationship, but when you're not, it's actually really creepy, especially if it's multiple times in one day. Edit. Since this has blown up more than I thought it would, I'll provide some backstory. This is based off of something that actually happened to me. The guy is what most people would consider attractive. Tan skin, dark hair, started out really nice, went to the gym a lot, but he wouldn't stop saying how beautiful I was and compared me to my co-workers. Kept trying to buy me gifts. It made me extremely uncomfortable and I felt creeped out. I'll put it this way. There is no such thing as the friend zone. There is only the you won't take no for an answer. And I'm too scared you will verbally or physically attack me if I am any more blunt about it. Zone. I think guys forget that women have a genuine concern about assault or even being murdered by men. So with that in the back of our minds when meeting someone new, a lot of things can unintentionally come off as creepy. Once had a co-op student, I was a senior engineer, corner me in our tiny coffee room to tell me he didn't understand why I changed my hair. He liked it better blonde. I'm 5 feet 2 inches, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm cornered by a kid who has never spoken a word to me before but is 6 feet 2 inches easily and I can't get around him. Also had another co-op student breath on the back of my neck while I was doing some material testing as a way of getting my attention. Or he said he would help me if I helped him. He was my coop student. He literally got paid to help me. This kid I finally threatened to report to his school and said I would trash his professionalism grade if he tried it again. It didn't help until I made it clear to all my coops that allowing him to act that way would affect their professionalism grades too. Then he behaved, even though I was the senior person in both circumstances. Their lack of respect for space and their clear flirting was so out of place. Given their size, it could be really intimidating, especially since I often got in early or worked late, and that is when these kids would choose to be creepy. Not respecting boundaries, not listening and not treating you like an equal human being are my top 3 red flags. Respecting boundaries means they don't invade your personal space. Common rules of society are followed and they don't keep pushing to touch, interact, initiate conversation or relationship. If you are hovering around me, trying to distance me from safety or my friends, keep staring at me, following me after I say no, etc, you are a creep to me. I sense danger and am uncomfortable with this. Stop touching me. No hugging. Get away. Listening is a crucial skill in general but tells me whether or not I want to be near you or if you respect me. Not listening or treating my opinions as valid means you are probably not someone who understands no and may try to manipulate or hurt me. I am not a piece of meat, a potential lay or someone's property. Respect me as your equal and human. The scariest creeps don't seem to see you as human. You are their object, something to chase. A fourth that isn't always the case is a lack of social awareness or being oblivious of social rules, as it can lead to uncomfortable misunderstandings or much worse when combined with the other 3. Not respecting personal space boundaries. trying to chat me up about 50 Shades of Grey because I'm a woman, so I obviously love it. I've never read it, or Twilight, and don't intend to. It's not my cup of tea. So you're not only assuming I have to like something because of my gender, and straight up accusing me of lying and being coy when I say I don't, but the thing you're insisting I like is pretty fetishy, even if only in a softcore way. Oh, and this entire conversation takes place at my desk at work. Brock from Pokemon anime is a good example. Using any excuse to touch me, like sliding his hand across my lower back when walking past or trying to get by me. Staring, of course, especially in the gym. Suddenly asking personal questions like, do you have a boyfriend? Do you live alone? Like, dude, I don't know you. Don't I get a hug? Any dude that tries to guilt me into hugging touching him is creepy. I see you online. Who are you talking to? Ignoring consent. Ignoring social cues. Choosing what you want over what someone else wants or finds comfortable. A lack of self-awareness. Forcefulness. Aggressive inconsideration. Mean for no reason. Way the duck too into violent things. For the sake of violence, like, you can own a snake and feed it live mice because you have to because it won't accept thawed frozen mice. Or you can take maniacal glee in live animals suffering. Zero concept of bathing hygiene. Yeah, nasty. Get out of here. City pigeons find puddles to groom in and you can't even wash your butt. Bafflingly hypersexual. With no ability to interact on a human to human basis. The dead shark eyes. They're either some muddy shade of black or ice blue, but they're flat and they don't blink and they have 1,000-yard stare. Not taking no for an answer. Not respecting boundaries. Treating humans as anything other than human. The goddess thing can be totally creepy. Intense. Lingering eye contact for no particular reason. I am 4 feet 11 and 80 pounds and 23. The other day I was hanging out with a friend and he said to me, when I first saw you I asked someone if it was okay that a child was here. Then, when I found out you were 23, I thought I would like to get to know you. Yeah. When I show disinterest in the interaction and he continues to be pushy, for example, a guy can come up to me in public and tell me that he thinks I'm beautiful and it's not creepy. But if I then say thank you and put my earbuds in or go back to my phone and he keeps persisting, it quickly becomes creepy. I think that men really just need to listen to women's cues more. Her body language responses will tell you if she wants you to keep talking to her. Not responding to cues. If someone is chatty at the bar, I'll face them and smile. Ask questions. Give longish answers. etc. If I want to carry on or don't mind it, I'll face away or give short answers and few questions if I'm not interested. If you keep on after I've tried passively to not engage, I may get direct and try to get away. Don't follow. Also, physical space or super personal questions comments are icky. When he stalks you for 2 weeks and tells you he's looking for a female host to show him around. Oof. Based off of a true story when I was like 15, yikes. Just cut all the bullet and be honest. Creepy equals unattractive. Not following social etiquette in really bad ways. The other day I was working out at the gym and was doing exercises that required me to squat and bend over when I noticed this older foreign man staring at me. I looked at him then looked away. Every time I had to look in his direction he was just there watching me. Eventually I got annoyed and asked him if I could help him with anything. He said no and just kept staring. I could physically feel him watching me and it made me so uncomfortable I just stopped my exercise and went home. It felt so gross and slimy. Immediately talking about and wanting sex. It's okay to be attracted to someone and think about sex with that person. But you need to dial back on expressing that you feel that way right out the gate. I was talking to this guy on OkCupid. We went on one date. But what gave me the creeps was that at least 4 times in the 2 weeks we were chatting online before the date, he kept saying he liked my hair straightened. All because of one photo I had of me with straight hair. I was so not straightening my hair for the date. The date ends and he asked if there will be a second one. I was too polite to straight up say no. I said we will see and we both left separately. After that he messaged me multiple times a day asking the same questions and asking why I wasn't talking. I disabled my account for a month or so, but when I came back Ha had asked why I disabled my account and kept messaging me multiple times a day. I eventually blocked him. He sounded way too controlling. I definitely dodged a bullet. When guys tell you a long list of what they are looking for in a partner, yet possess none of these qualities themselves, or have anything to offer in return. Okay dude, good luck with that. After reading this thread I have good news and bad news. Good news, I'm not creepy. Bad news, I guess I'm just ugly. Lying to everyone that you are into him even if it's the exact opposite. I had a guy that I've seen like once in passing in my work building stare my car down when he saw me get into it today. So, that gay person here. When a guy says I can change your mind though, instant turn off. No buddy, you can't change my mind. If you feel the need to try and persuade me to change my sexuality for you, your D is probably small anyway. Another one, offering to do favors help out, then being pissy when I start dating someone else. I didn't know he was only helping me out to get in my pants. He never even asked me out or gave an indication that he liked me. Honestly, I probably would have gone on a date with the guy if he'd asked, but after that behavior, zero interest. Constant staring, smells bad, won't leave you alone when asked, constantly asking personal questions, etc. Also creepy when they try to make a lot of physical contact. Guys who apologize by saying something to make you feel sorry for them. For example, "Duck, I hate myself, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I did that, please don't stop talking to me, I'm literally shaking, I'm such a dumb stupid waste of space, I should die, etc. If a guy needs to get 6 into the conversation as quick as possible, he is desperate and horny and very likely to come across as a creep. Not just casual pickups but also first date stuff. Some guys try to slide it into the conversation as if it's no big deal. It will come in either as a joke that just won't go away and was obviously rehearsed for hours in a lonely bedroom, or as a fake confidence thing as if they're so chilled about the whole thing. No, it is not the most natural thing in the world to list out personal kinks or something just for conversation's sake, pressuring me to respond in kind or else I'm some kind of frigid. It just comes across as really desperate and sleazy.